paint protection film. You've probably heard about it, maybe you've seen it, maybe you've debated about it while looking at your hood and all the rock chips. But how do you know what's real and what's noise? So today we're going to be destroying all the PPF myths that's out there once and for all. Myth number 1, PPF doesn't work and it's too expensive. I think that's farthest from the truth, and back in the day, it maybe wasn't worth it just because the quality wasn't as good as it is today. But today, it is really thick. It can be up to, usually about 6.5 to 10 mil thick. It's made out of TPU, and the advancement of technology has made it where it's just a lot better. So if you're thinking about protecting your car from rock chips or scratches or really anything that life throws at it, honestly, it is the best absolute product that you can get for your car protection, basically. On top of that, it has, self-healing abilities, protects from UV, it's hydrophobic, which makes it a lot easier to even clean your car. And typically, most top films are going to be rated between 7 to 10 years. So I would say this is busted. Myth number 2, PPF turns yellow. And yes, that is somewhat true. Back in the 2000s, films were really bad. It would crack, it would yellow, and part of the reason is the UV rays. Now, the newer ones uses UV inhibitors to basically keep it crystal clear for years, and most top brands will actually have a warranty against that. So they say there's 10-year warranty against yellowing, cracking, or peeling. So I think that's a myth completely busted. But yes, back in the day, if you have old film in the 2000s, you might have this. So the best thing to do is if you really like the car and you want to redo it, you might have to take it out and then put a new one. Myth number 3, you don't need PPF if you have ceramic coat. So let me talk about those two things, because I think in the early, mid 2015 to probably 20 almost, ceramic coating was such a big deal. Everybody talked about it left and right. You cannot go another block about hearing about ceramic coating. But there's a really, really key difference. Ceramic coating is actually a liquid that crystallizes, that goes on top of the top coat layer of a car that actually gives it, a shine, but also hydrophobic properties, and does help the car stay really, really clean. However, it is not a film. It is not a physical film that is really, really thick, that has polyurethane and self-healing abilities that can protect from rock chips. So if there was a pretty large rock chip that hit you at 70 miles per hour, ceramic coating would not actually protect your car from that. So that's where PPF comes in. There are actually 2 different types of products, right? One is a layer of coating, and it's called a coating, right? And then the other one is an actual film, a physical film that stands between a rock and your vehicle. So the best combo, though, is if you put ceramic coating after you PPF your car, and then you get the best of both worlds. You get it protected from all those things, the rock chips and all that stuff, and it makes it even easier on top of an already hydrophobic layer, and make it a lot easier to keep your car clean. So I would say that's also busted. Myth number 4, PPF ruins your car paint when removed. So this is a little bit harder to say. So we only work with top quality films and really good brands. So if you use really, really high quality films, this should never be an issue. Here's another thing. A lot of the times when we actually work on cars, our customer cars, one of the first things we do is we check the paint. And you can actually check the paint whether it's been repainted. And if it's been repainted, there is a high chance that it will lift. So we typically reject those kind of jobs and say, look, there's a risk. Unless you sign a waiver saying we are not liable for it peeling after we remove it, we will not work on the car. So that's just something that we try to do before we take on that job. But if you have really good film and you have a good vehicle that has not been repainted, it should not peel the paint at all unless there's a recall from the auto manufacturer. So I would say this is also busted. Myth number 5, PPF installation is only for the pros. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. It is very, very hard to learn. We had our time of struggles and our pain when first learning how to do it. But I want to be honest with you too, where film has improved so much, honestly, in the last 5 years, and it has allowed us to introduce our DIY kits. So professionals are, of course, going to be better because they have a lot more experience, but today is such a good time to DIY it, or if you want to get into the film industry, you can start practicing. So I would say that it's not only for the professionals now. You can do a DIY project and you can do a pretty darn good job. And we can prove it because we have tens of thousands of people that we've helped protect their vehicle in this industry. Myth number 6, PPF is only for car enthusiasts. So here's a little history fact. PPF was actually invented for helicopter blades, right, during the Vietnam War. And it was actually invented by 3M to protect those blades. But then after that, what happened was NASCAR and this auto racing started commercializing a little bit more, because if you look at a NASCAR vehicle, they have all these brands, all around the vehicle. So you want to make sure that you protect it from all the asphalt and all this, tar and all that stuff. So that's when it kind of got bigger, and then after that, it kind of went into really, really high-end cars, the Lambos, the Ferraris, and all that stuff. And then now we go back to, in the 2020s, we have it more in just everyday cars. And I think that's gone to this point mainly because price has gone down, and there's a lot more installers. It's gone a lot more mainstream. So it's not just for the car enthusiasts or NASCAR drivers now, it's really for even the daily drivers, because I think there's a lot of people in this industry where people like keeping their car clean, but they don't want to do all the work. So, PPF is such a good way to enjoy your car, your daily driver, or maybe it's just a fun vehicle. Have fun, but also keep it clean, and also continue to keep the resale value for as long as you can by keeping the paint nice and pristine. So there you have it, the biggest myth about PPF. It's not a thin tape, it doesn't yellow, it doesn't crack anymore. It can be done by DIYers, and not just for car enthusiasts, and you can do it yourself. You can protect your car, you can save some sanity, you can save some money if you do it yourself, and you can continue to keep your resale value as well. So make sure you hit that like button if you learned a thing or two in this video. Subscribe for more content, and we'll see you later.